What's up, you guys? It's Nikita. I'm back with the top question that people are always asking in reference to Airbnb, starting their Airbnb, whatever. Now, this is the third question, okay? I got my phone with my other notes in it because y'all know I got scatterbrain. But the question is, where should I start my Airbnb? Now, there is no dumb question, but and let me just say this as well. I also had this same thought in my head, like, we have the whole US of A to start your Airbnb. Okay, I know I want to start, but now, and this is typical like human how humans act basically. When you have too many options, a lot of times you just end up not choosing any option. So with this question, okay, where should I start? I know I want to start, but then now I have the whole US. You can even start it outside of the US. Like, what place, what state, what city, what county should I start it in? And then, just for the people that's asking me this question, the first answer is, I don't know. Because I'm not looking into all of the places to start. Now, if I was that type of person that was looking into every little state to see where's the best state, which there are some Airbnb hosts that do that, great, then I might know to point you in the direction. But I don't look into all of the states. When I started in my backyard, meaning I started in the city that I was in, the city and state that I was in, and even the county that I resided in. So I can't tell you to go somewhere else when I have not been in that market. So this makes me go to the next point. You have to do your market research. Okay, that's a word that's thrown around, or a phrase that's always thrown around, and it's like, okay, how do I do the market research? Okay, it's simple. The first thing that you can do is use Airbnb itself. So use the site to your advantage. It's free. So go on Airbnb. If you have a market in mind, meaning you have a city, you have a state in mind, or maybe if you even wanted to just do it out of your own backyard, being the place that you currently live, go to Airbnb. Look up that city and state. Look up what type of property that you're interested in getting. So if it's a 1-bedroom, look into 1-bedrooms. If it's a house, look into houses. If it's an apartment, look into apartments, and then filter it. And let's look at what's already there. This is also like referred to as competitor analysis. So just think about like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, or even grocery stores, Publix, Winn-Dixie. Like, a lot of times if we go down the street and we see a McDonald's, like shortly, if not next door, we're gonna see a Burger King or Taco Bell. Like, they're taking advantage of who was here first and is it working for them. So they basically done all the work to see, okay, is this a good market? Same thing with what we're doing. You're gonna look at the existing properties that are similar to what you want to do and see how those properties are doing, and you can get and make informed decisions off of that. So you're going to go on these individuals' listings, look at their listing, look at their pictures. What are they offering? What type of amenities do they have? What are the reviews saying? Are they loving it? Look at their calendars. Is their calendar booked out? Okay, how long have they been a host? Have they been in this market for a long time? Because Airbnb isn't new. Like, people have been doing it. So you might come across a profile. It might be a 1 month. They've been hosting for a month. Okay, we can't really look into that one because they just as new as us. Okay, and then you might come across another account. They have 500 reviews. You click on their profile. They've been hosting for 5 years. You click inside of their profile. You see they have a whole list of properties in this same market. Something has to be working in this market. Okay, so that's one way to do market research. And then also there are other sites that you have to pay for. Like, one of them is airdna.co, and then another one is Rabu, I believe, .co, and I'm sure there are some other ones as well out there, but these sites are specifically for analyzing the rental market. And so, example, AirDNA, you can pay for it. You can look into all of the markets, and they have all of the markets ranked from like the best markets to invest in with rental properties down to the lowest. And then when you click into the markets break down the numbers. What is the average nightly rate for this market? What is the seasonality for this market? What are your competitors of this market? So even when you're looking at the competitors of the market, you can see people that have right now Airbnbs, VRBOs, and then you can click from there and then see their listing that way as well. So all of this information is making you be able to make an informed decision about if this is a market that you feel comfortable and want to invest in, okay? So you have to kind of do the work, unless you know somebody in the market and they can just tell you firsthand. But if you're trying to maybe invest outside of the market that you stay in, you might not know somebody and you might have to look into the market. Okay, next. What makes a location good? Okay, this is another good question. So when we're thinking about what makes a location good, we also want to think about who's going to be booking our property. So what makes a location good? Why would somebody want to come to this market? Why would they be coming and needing accommodations? You have to think about that. Okay, example, the market that I'm in, and just from, I didn't know this when I was first starting. Let me say that. I didn't know any of this. Only thing I was focused on is getting the property. And I was just like, once I get a yes to getting the property, everything gonna be good. Like that's the only thing I was worried about. Thank God everything worked out. Of course, I still took some losses along the way, but that's the only thing I was thinking about. And it's a lot of other things that you do need to be thinking about, and this is one of them. So thinking about why are people coming to that market, because those are probably going to be our target people that are going to be looking for housing accommodations, and we can house them if we're in the right market and the right area in that market. So in my particular market, we have Mayo Clinic. I get a ton of people that write me asking me my proximity to the Mayo Clinic, because either they know someone there, like a family member that's getting treatment, or they're the patient themselves and they will be here for extensive treatment and need somewhere to stay. We might get a lot of those people. So, okay, we got some hospital patients coming. Okay, what about, is your market a big events place? Like we have the Jacksonville Jaguars here. I'm not into football, but I know there's a lot of diehard Jacksonville Jaguar fans, and I do get people that come during the football season and say, hey, we're in town for the game. That can be another one. Another one in our market, we have 2 Navy bases. So we have that can entail people that's relocating to the area. That can entail people that are staying on the barracks, but they no longer want to stay on the barracks, but they still want to be in close proximity to the base. Families visiting their loved ones, and they want to be close proximity to the base. So my units are in close proximity to the base, and I get a lot of military personnel. Okay, and then back on the events. What is your market known for? Some markets are known for bachelorette parties and weddings. Like I think Charleston is the #1 wedding place or whatever. So you might have people frequenting that place to get married. Okay, all type of things. I can't think of nothing else off the top of my head, but what is the place that you're interested in, or if you're thinking about doing it in your backyard, the place that you reside in known for? Because this is going to help you make that informed decision about if I should get a property here, because am I going to be booked? Because that's also a #1 fear of people. What if I don't get booked? What if nobody books my property? Well, if you do the market research, you go down the line and see, okay, how is the people that's already in the market doing? Okay, what are people coming to this market for? Now you can scratch that out of your head, because you see that it's already working, and you see the type of people that are coming here to visit and that will need housing accommodations. I hope this helps somebody. I hope this helps somebody, because it is super important. Like I say, I always call myself God's favorite. Not to say that I don't go through trials and tribulations myself, because I do, but everything always works out. how it should in my favor. Okay, when I started, like I said, I wasn't thinking about nothing else but getting the property. I wasn't thinking about anything, so it could have went horribly wrong. But I'm trying to be here and tell you guys the right way and how to be thinking, so you don't have to go through any heartache or any trials and tribulations as it relates to this, because it's super important to think about prior to getting the apartment or getting the, I got apartments and I have single family homes, but whatever your property type is, it's super important to think about these things prior to jumping in, because that could be a possibility that the property doesn't get booked because you didn't do the market research. Okay, I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, you can definitely drop them below. If you have any other insight in reference to this topic, definitely drop it below, and I'll be here next week with our next topic. Peace.